Hi, this is Michael Uslan. You're listening to Batman on Film.
The Adventures of Batman.
Welcoming you to the new adventures of Batman.
Welcome to Batmanimation. I said it right, Ryan. Batmanimation, a Batman on Film podcast, batman-on-film.com. And as Pete Barra says, please don't forget the dashes. Ryan Lauer has entered the room.
Hell of a name. Hell of a name, that Batmanimation.
Yeah, it is. How'd that come to be?
This guy.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
The good thing about having a Batmanimation podcast where we talk about the animated adventures of Batman is that there is a new season of Batman Caped Crusader on Amazon Prime, dropped on the 31st of July 2026, which is this year, so about a week ago or so, a little over a week. And they dropped all at once, 10 episodes. I am watching them as we go through these BOF Batmanimation episodes. So I'm watching about 2, maybe 3 a week. I've only watched 2 so far because we're going to talk about episode 2 today, and then I'm going to go on to episode 3. You've watched all 10, but we're going to wait. The last show we do for season 2 of Caped Crusader, I'm going to get the group on here and do a round table, and we'll talk about not only the final episode, but the season and grade it as well. So just want to show you the difference. Ryan has seen the whole thing. I've only watched 2 episodes. We're going to talk about season 2, episode 2, Deep Cover.
Episode 3.
Episode 3. Yes. Okay, let me get straight here. Yeah. I've watched 3 episodes. We're going to talk about episode 3.
That's right.
Okay.
Let's ride.
Let's ride. Different show. All right. Here's the synopsis. With Rupert Thorne missing, his ruthless successor, Eddie Nygma, a.k.a. the Riddler, plunges Gotham into chaos with aggressive robberies and street violence. To protect a vital witness and gather underworld intelligence, Batman ditches his cape and goes deep undercover inside Blackgate Prison using his criminal alter ego, Matches Malone.
All right, let me tell you. Anything that I say is not in any way influenced or a result of any episode after this. Okay. So therefore, I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to say, well, I first thought this, but then this, or anything like that. This is purely based on these 3 episodes.
Okay, let me ask you this first. Based on just the first 3 episodes, right?
Yeah.
What's your take on their take of the Riddler?
Nice, because that was the first thing that I wanted to get to too.
Okay.
Why I said that.
Okay.
Up to this point, he said in the opening, shootout, when it's a pineapple, not a pineapple.
Yeah.
When it's a grenade. Those are riddles that I hate. I think they're stupid. Like, I'd expect that on the Three Stooges or something, but I don't like those kind of riddles because it's just like, ugh, okay. I don't not like him, but he is definitely not near a favorite interpretation. He's fine. I like the color scheme, obviously that's the nod. I think you and Javi have talked on the previous 2 episodes about, he's fitting of being in a gangster, and he does have a little bit of like the wild one with kind of like the higher pitches and tones sometimes. And he's like, oh, but then he can bring it down and be a little kind of like on this level. I'm a little more serious now. And I like that stuff, but I'm never one to say this is not the Riddler. No, this is this version's Riddler.
Yeah.
Period.
Whether you like it or not,
Yeah.
that's insignificant. That's
Uh,
just and it's fair, but insignificant because this is their take on the Riddler.
Yep. So for a fictional character, I don't think you can sit there and say that is not blank. Like
Yeah.
Roxy Rocket last episode, the Terrible Trio last episode, like them or not, that they are who they are. It's just
Mhm.
in this world. So when it comes to the Riddler, um, I'm hoping that we get some more classic Riddler stuff, and my what do I want to say? My measure is the animated series Riddler. I think that's my favorite of the character in any medium in his history. There are other versions that I really like. The Batman, that Riddler is different, but there are classic Riddler elements in
Mhm.
it that I really, really liked him.
Yeah.
Same for Jim Carrey. So when it comes here, it's different, and I accept that it's different. This is more grounded. That's just where I'm at. I think the past couple years, I've just been very grounded with stuff. And I say this as a massive Turtles fan. My favorite Turtle stuff is them on the ground and um on the ground fighting the ninjas and stuff like that. And so I appreciate this take being so grounded and not super heroic and big universe, sort of
Yeah.
deal. I do
Yeah.
like the grit.
I told Hobby he reminds me of because I watch a lot of New York
Hmm.
mafia um, documentaries and whatnot. There was a gangster in New York named called Joey Gallo, and they called him Crazy Joey Gallo. And he reminds,
Flashy.
yeah, kind of reminds me of that. There's also with the cackling, it's
Uh-huh.
reminiscent of like you ever watched like the original, the Adventures of Batman and the first Batman animated series, and how they, the Joker or the Riddler were always.
Oh yes.
It's kind of, yeah. There's a little
Stuff
bit
like
of
that,
that
yeah.
in there, but if you just if you put it under like, okay, he's just this loose cannon. Okay, I get the cackling along with, like you
Yeah.
said, then they get serious and he's just a loose cannon dude. So I'm okay. I don't know where it's going. I'll find out. And
Yeah.
that's part of the ride here with this season of Cape Crusader. Um, so Enigma has taken over. Basically, Rupert Thorne, we know, has been Jokerized, where his whereabouts are unknown, along with his son. And the Mark Desmond, his sidekick, his number one guy, he became a monster man thanks to Hugo Strange, and them getting hold of some of that. What was the name of the formula? I always called it the Monster Man formula, but they had a name for it in the last episode.
I like Monster Men formula. It's
Yeah,
easier to remember.
because the Joker stole it at the end of last
Yeah.
episode. Remember?
Hmm.
Um, and so Dez, who is now back to his human form after Batman rammed the shit out of him with the Batmobile about a dozen times. That's pretty freaking violent, that episode.
Yeah.
Did you kind
Yeah.
of get that? I mean, I was like, Jesus, this is violent as AF.
Did you and Javi mentioned that in DC lore, Mark Desmond was the first blockbuster?
No, there
Okay.
you go. Okay.
Hey, Mark Desmond, the first blockbuster
Okay.
in DC lore.
That it's called blockbuster formula.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
It's all connected.
Yeah. It's called blockbuster formula.
Now, let me tell you how I even led to that because I didn't think of it.
Okay.
Didn't think of it
Okay.
at all.
Yeah.
When Batman is in Gordon's office and they've got
Yeah.
Thorne's picture up and his mugshot number, that is prime Easter egg setting in these shows. So I always pause
Yeah.
and I look them up. Not the first time. When I rewatched it, I did. And it's got Dez's shot up as well. But they had Rupert Thorne's up. And it stuck out to me right away because the first one was D, like the number is D4692977. I know Detective Comics 469, it starts to become the Strange Apparitions run, one of my favorite Batman stories of all time. And I
Yeah.
know that Steve Englehart created Rupert Thorne. So I paused right away and thought, hold on, 1977. So I looked, and sure enough, yes. I can't figure out. So D 469. So I'm like, that's issue 469, Rupert Thorne's debut. The next two, the 29, I don't know. And then the 77 is the year. Googled, because I'm such a nerd, it said that that issue was released February 22nd of 77. So I don't know where the 2 and the 9 come in. Dez's full number, I didn't grab a number of the full number, but his was down to Detective Comics 345, 1965. That's his mugshot number,
Yeah.
and that is his debut in DC Comics. So
Okay.
there you go.
Man, they're going deep into this one, huh?
Yeah, good for them. Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah. I like that.
I do too.
Yeah.
It gives it
even
gives good
though I
replay
can,
value.
yeah, even though I can sit here and go, man, I fancy myself a Batman historian, amateur, and I didn't pick that up. Take away my Batman card. Damn it. Please
Oh,
don't,
you're gonna
though.
get it back. You're
Yeah.
gonna get it back. Believe in
Yeah.
yourself, Bill.
So can we say that this blockbuster serum
Mhm.
and then Dez being injected with it, is he like a combo of blockbuster and a monster man? Is that what they're going for here? Because I would say just blockbuster, but you've got the Hugo Strange factor. It comes from Hugo Strange, you know?
Yeah. I I respect that they did Monster Men, that they fit Monster Men in there. You know,
Okay.
I didn't think Blockbuster,
I
even though
didn't
that
either.
is now looking
Yeah.
at that, that's the direct link. They
Yeah.
even call it Blockbuster, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think I'll be one of those nerds that'll be like, the Monster Men formula, well, actually, and push my fake glasses up my nose and be like, actually, Blockbuster. But I mean
Yeah.
Monster Men. It just,
Yeah.
I don't, that, yeah, that's what it feels like to me.
That was that was
Yeah.
where I was from the fact it came from Hugo Strange, Professor Hugo Strange.
Yep.
Um, I went with the Monster Man thing, but clearly there's a nod to Blockbuster here.
Yeah.
So good for them. Good for them. All right. So if you're saying they're not doing their homework and they're not being true to the characters, this has got some deep pulls and some really obscure Easter eggs
Hmm.
in here. What'd you think about Batman and Gordon in Gordon's office? First time really seen this in
Oh,
this
I dig it.
series. Yeah.
I love the old school vibe of it, of
Yeah.
basics. Like I know this is set 1940s-ish, Um so it is just like they've got a board, it's not some digital screen. I just love that feel in any kind of Batman Gordon in his office scene, Is like he's just in this, they've got a light and they've got a board. And it seems like the old school way of pinning yarn to connect things.
Yeah.
I dig that, and I like the two of them working together, and then um Batman just disappears.
Yes.
That classic.
Yes. I like it because it was set up, it's like Batman takes Barbara as his confidant or his
Hmm.
go-to, and she's like, you really need to talk to my dad. That's who you need to be meeting up with. And he's like, oh,
Yeah.
you can't do things that you can do, for me. And ended up with, that shot of she brings Batman to the roof of the GCPD, and here comes
Hmm.
Gordon. You two need to talk. She leaves. They're set there, they're foreshadowing the bat signal, I think,
Yeah,
in that scene as well.
they had a cut scene where Batman and Gordon looked at each other and they said, "Did we just become best friends?"
Yeah. Yeah. You get
Yeah,
that in
they're like, it
extras?
just doesn't
Okay.
work. Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so Batman, Bruce Wayne, decides to go to Blackgate Prison undercover as Matches Malone, and he's under the guise of he's from Detroit. He's a
Hmm.
gangster from Detroit who came to Gotham, and it's become Sellies with Dez, They're at Blackgate.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
What'd you think of his little role play with Pennyworth in the Batcave?
That's where I was going to ask you. Okay.
Okay. Sorry. Jumped the gun.
No, good segue. Because I was going to ask you, do you feel like, because he's still calling him Pennyworth, even though he called him Alfred at the end of season 1. I think there's a little bit more working together, a little bit more openness. Not much, but a little bit more than it was originally.
I think so too. I think this version of Batman and Bruce is very cold.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how many seasons the show in the end will end up having. I don't know if that is something in mind too, because I'm not a chumming it up, overly emotional Batman. I'm like, oh, it's okay. Introduce Damian and be like, son, I love you, son. Ugh. Like, I don't want that crap. This is like the extreme 180 of that,
Yeah.
And it's just noticeable. It's not unlikable by any means, but he's definitely not. They haven't even reached the fun banter back and forth.
Yeah.
Between the two, it's kind of direct and cold and not much give on either side. And so I don't know, and I don't know if they're gonna end up softening up just a little bit between those two, even because I know, and it's been on my mind too, because I've heard you say it on here about calling him Alfred, and I don't think this episode he's called him Alfred. I don't think he's called him, but also that still doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Now, if he was just being a pure up a-hole every single scene to Alfred every episode, then I would be like, okay, I'm a little annoyed by this now. But he hasn't.
I have just felt in this season, Alfred seems to be more of that, the aide, the partner to Batman.
Yeah.
That we expect, as opposed to he would just shut Alfred down left and right season 1.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did like, him going through the whole thing. Here's your persona and asking the questions and having Bruce answer, blah, blah, blah. So I did not know, maybe because I didn't read the synopsis, I just went straight into this episode 3. So Matches Malone was kind of a surprise to me when they went that way. And I was like, oh yeah, here we go. So I was excited for that. And it becomes kind of like one of those prison shows where, a lot of that kind of, they're out to get Dez in prison. So Batman is not there, not just to do detective work and to gain information and all that, but he's protecting Dez, even though Dez isn't talking yet. So there's just, and he knows he has to break him out. The whole thing, what do you think about the whole prison stuff, just in general?
It was good because that he can't. Bill, this is a shocker to you. I've never been in prison.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Throwing that out there. Okay. So I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
But I'd imagine it's tough guy. So you can't come up and be like, hi, my name's Matches. Do you want to be friends? Like, I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah. So
it is, how do you get your in there?
Yeah.
And I because he felt Dez was very like cold immediately.
Yeah.
And so then he, Matches Batman is very observant.
Mm-hmm.
So he stops Dez from getting shivved in the cafeteria. And then he has the line about like, he scuffed my shoes, and that cracked Dez. And then, it opened that door for them to be like, okay. And then he just keeps proving himself afterwards. And I thought that was really good, rather than the direct approach that would have felt hokey and like, how this doesn't work. How would this work?
Yeah.
Got to earn it. And he did.
So it's, you think about it, it's a tough assignment that Bruce has as Matches, because he does have to escape to get out.
Yeah.
And Dez is in there because he's not talking. And that's the thing to point out. Dez is still remaining, even though he's becoming pals with Matches, he's still remaining loyal to
Yeah. Thorn.
Thorn
Riddler.
and Nigma. Yeah.
Let me ask you, and way back to like I guess earlier, like after the show intro, what do you think of his, his scene with Barbara Montoya and Flass?
Yeah. It was, I'm not saying anything. Kind of, I'm not saying it. Even though Barbara's trying to work a deal, he's having none of it.
Yeah.
And I was kind of focused on Flass smoking, and it was just, he's an asshole.
He's a pure grade A asshole.
Yeah.
And doesn't it blow your mind of like, how is he still on the force?
Yeah.
Right there, he doesn't have any rebuttal to Dez's
Gordon,
comments about when you see Thorne, have him buy you a new suit. And then I forget the other line is that he says too. And it's just like, you've got a lawyer and you got a fellow detective in here hearing all this. No rebuttal or denial from Flass's stance.
Yeah. I mean, they all know Flass is dirty.
Yeah.
But they can't do anything about it yet.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
just,
something.
yeah. So ultimately they break out of prison.
Ooh.
And, go ahead.
I'm just keep interjecting. Sorry, but it's because I wanted your point. Let's see, multiple no, they were gonna get jumped out while they were lifting weights, and they got inside and locked the door.
Yeah.
And they were doing laundry.
Yeah.
I laughed at two parts. One is how Bruce just grabbed a guy's hair, guy turned around, pops him right in the face.
Yeah.
And then Dez over there slamming a washer door in a guy's face.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's enough. You know what? When Pete no, this is for the social hour. I'm cross combining. Pete likes to go and do guest speaker days at schools.
Yeah,
he should take that in and be like, kids, this is why you should stay out of prison.
Yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about, just listen to the latest social hour, and because we detail and praise Pete for his work in schools throughout the state of New Jersey. Yeah.
That's like a scared straight segment right there. Like this is why you don't go to prison.
Yeah.
Bam, bam, slam a door on a guy's face. Holy crap.
They break out. Dez reunites with Nigma and kind of Matches he's trying to get his buddy Matches involved. Right?
Yeah.
Are you thinking, how far does he have to go with this to get what he's ultimately after? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was and you'll say what happens, but in their meetup, somebody could have pause and say, Ryan, you have to bet which way, like, how is this gonna go? I wouldn't have known, no idea.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have felt confident guessing any direction.
It's like Donnie. He's like Donnie Brasco.
Good old Donnie Brasco.
Matches Malone. You know how you saw Donnie Brasco, right?
I did not.
Have you not seen that movie?
I know what it is.
Yeah.
And it's always a thing with movies that I have gaps, like movies that I have not seen. Yeah. When they're available streaming, I'm not in the mood. When I'm in the mood, I go back and they're not on streaming anymore.
Yeah.
Always happens. I know. Because Johnny Depp's in that one, right?
Yeah. He's Donnie Brasco. Donnie Brasco is Matches Malone, essentially. You know what I'm saying? He's undercover. Yeah. And how far but he wasn't in prison, but my point was he's now part of the mafia, Yeah. And he's a freaking police officer. In this case, you got Matches Malone, who's, you got Dez trying to get him into the group, into the gangster world, and he's freaking Batman,
Yeah.
It's freaking Batman. Well, speaking of Batman, Batman arrives. There's all kind of shenanigans taking place between crazy Eddie Nigma. This guy just can't keep it together, right? And So, your thoughts on the whole Batman, the whole action shootout, all that?
Well, I was surprised that Eddie shot matches, because he shouldn't have had any armor on. So
Yeah,
he took a bullet that close, and then he was suited up as Batman. It seems like
yeah,
that night, right?
yeah, yeah,
So it seemed like
yeah,
immediate because he ends up calling old Pennyworth about
yeah,
picking him up or whatever, and then yeah, Dez hops right into the next. But you could see too, which is why I think this is done really well because Dez is not. I mean, for the most part, he's not a good guy.
no,
Um, but the episode's making you kind of sympathize with him a little bit,
yes,
and
yes,
so you can see when Matches takes the bullet and falls in the water that he's just like disappointed.
yeah,
So there's still some humanity behind him.
yeah.
Um, Granted, misguided because it's like this guy helped me get out of prison,
Well,
so I'm gonna try and
you
get him
know,
in with this
yeah,
Riddler clan to commit
and
crime. So it's like,
yeah, he's a bad guy. He knows where his bread is buttered,
yeah.
so he's
And
got to
sometimes you're in
shoot.
so
Yeah,
deep,
yeah,
like
he's yeah.
that's all you know. You continue because you can't go back.
You can't. Yeah, he has to do that. And I was thinking, yeah, and I'm thinking, yeah, got to have armor on somewhere underneath there.
Somehow,
Yeah. So I mean,
Batman's always got a plan.
yeah, in my Batman fan mind, even though he's in a suit in these matches, he's got Batman armor underneath there. That layer. So I mean, he obviously does, even though it's not
Yeah,
said. You just go with it.
yeah.
So we
Somehow.
so Batman, yeah, and I'm with you. This seems like the same night,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
And they're at a heist. Batman shows up. All this happens. Um, Desnet has never ratted. He said, "I'm not a squealer. I'm not a rat." Blah blah blah. And Enigma just shoots him. He's convinced.
Yep.
He's Crazy Eddie Enigma. That's what I'm gonna call him now. Crazy Eddie Enigma
Crazy Eddie Enigma.
shoots him, and I thought it was a pretty poignant scene with him. He's dying. Batman comes up, and Batman doesn't say a word. And Eddie, he said, what's he say? He says, I've known Eddie since we were kids, or I go back to Eddie for a long time, but I never believed that my best friend would be the goddamn Batman.
Did you find how quickly he was able to just look up at Batman and he deduced that that was Matches? Too, I don't know, too spot on, too quick. How like what do you think right away with that?
Didn't bother me, but if you wanted to argue that, how did he know that quickly? I wouldn't argue against you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like maybe he just knew. He
Why?
just knew. I mean, at the end of the day, he's thinking, yeah, that was it just makes sense now. It was Batman.
And that's why when I watch things, I'm more so in the moment. How does it make me feel while watching?
Yeah,
And I didn't think of that. Instead, I ended up afterwards I think some people will be thinking that, but I didn't.
yeah,
It hit I think for me, it hit the beat it was trying to
yeah.
hit,
I'm with
and
you. I'm with you on
and in a
that.
way, it's kind of like a punctuation on like Dez's life is just kind of sad.
Yeah.
Uh, that in the end, it's
The
like he
thing
kind of had
is,
nobody. Who he had was the goddamn Batman who was gonna, take him down.
the way I took it, and I had empathy for an animated character,
Yeah,
which that's kind of a sign of a good,
yeah,
a good episode, good writing. I I believed him. He was being sincere
yeah.
when he said that, and it's like to him, it's like my life. It's a joke. I mean, I've been a gangster my whole life. I've been loyal to Eddie. I'm dying. He's the one that killed me. And at the end of the day, my best friend was the goddamn Batman. And
Yeah.
he's being honest, because I think he had genuine bro love for matches,
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
And I mean, he
and
said empathy, and that's what Pennyworth even said at the end to Batman. Is just
yeah,
like that. I don't remember the quote exactly, but something
yeah,
about like you're human because you have empathy. Like this is a good thing because you have some empathy.
yeah. He
But
felt
I
bad
was
about it, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, and I think that's where he didn't get down in the jewelry store when Dez was dying. He didn't get down on
yeah,
one knee and grab his hand or unmask or anything like
yeah,
that. And I think that would have been a bit much. But it's like he was kind of pure Batman of like he's just standing there just like staring at them. He didn't like
yeah,
turn around and kick dust at his body or anything like that. It's like he
yeah,
just stood there and that just felt very Batman-ish. And then it back at the cave in front of Pennyworth where he kind of spoke up a little, but um where did you take? He said if he would have gotten, I don't know if he said Riddler or Enigma if he hadn't hesitated. Where did he hesitate? There on the docks when he was still matches, and like he just didn't jump Riddler because I didn't feel like it was very clear to me on where exactly he hesitated.
and I think it must have been on the docks, right?
Okay, because he could have just broken character and just jumped him and taken him
And
down.
just I mean,
Yeah, it
he's
just didn't seem like there was a point that was very obvious. And I rewound and went to both the docks and then also in the
yeah,
jewelry store, and there wasn't a time that stands
I
out of
think
like,
it's
oh,
in the
he could have, but he
docks.
didn't. Yeah. Okay.
I think really analyzing this here. Oh, maybe overanalyzing.
Well, we do.
He is he's at that point. He is concerned about what might happen to Dez, so he
Yeah.
has to be careful. And by him
Yeah.
being careful, he didn't take out Enigma. And if Dez had got shot by Enigma, so be it. That's just you shouldn't have been in this situation in the first place. That's my interpretation.
Let me backtrack. He did lean down and close Dez's eyes
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
store. I left that part out. Okay.
yeah. That's
Which I think is
empathetic.
respectable. Yeah,
Respect.
exactly.
That's
Empathetic.
respectful. Yeah.
Yep.
He could have turned around, walked away, and just left him there,
Yeah.
dead, eyes wide open, and said it. F this guy. He's a gangster.
Had this guy spit on him, all
Yeah.
that, throwing some bat guano on him, but he didn't.
Yeah. No.
Batman has empathy.
Yeah. And it's subtle, and I think it's another little step, especially when you pair it with, him talking about it with Alfred as he is. There's humanity in this Batman.
Yeah.
He may not even
Empathy.
know it yet,
Yeah.
I still think that they are the Cape Crusader, Batman, Bruce Wayne, and the Pattinson, the Batman, Reeves, Batman, Bruce Wayne. They're cousins. We'll see where Pattinson's Bruce goes and Batman go in the part 2. But the only difference is in the Cape Crusader is Bruce does have the public Bruce Wayne down pretty well.
Yeah.
But there's not one yet with Pattinson's Bruce Wayne in the Batman saga. So
That's true.
we shall see. The Joker, got to mention it.
There you
Joker's watching the whole thing. Got
go.
binoculars. What the hell's going on here? What the hell's going on here?
What was the only tease in the first episode was the chauffeur, right? They didn't have any
Yep.
follow-up outside of that.
Yep.
And then the end of second episode was Strange.
Mm-hmm.
And he grabbed the blockbuster serum.
Blockbuster
And then
serum.
this is watching from a rooftop. What was the end credits or mid credits of season 1? Was it just a warehouse out by docks or something and somebody was laughing?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to piece together here of like, what have we seen from him so far?
You see his eyes in that cut scene, that
Mhm.
bonus scene, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And a guy laughing, and it's a Joker, someone affected by the Joker serum, Joker venom, whatever the hell you want to call it. So that's all we've gotten so far. Let me go back to see episode 1. And I ask Javi this. When the Joker, it's the Joker in disguise as the chauffeur, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Jax pokes him in the back, Thorn, that is. And then he goes off, initially has a Joker episode. And we only see his eyes. But we can see, his skin, he's got the flesh colored skin, clear Joker eyes. We know it's the Joker. So is this Joker doing a Jack Nicholson where he's perma white and he puts on the flesh colored makeup? Or when he's the Joker, does he have makeup on, like a la Heath Ledger?
I know my thoughts.
Yeah.
Seeing that in the first, and what's funny, even funnier, I, for a quick moment there at the end of episode 1, when it was the chauffeur, I thought that it was going to be not matches maybe, but Bruce in disguise. I thought it was Batman that was going to get Thorne and take him somewhere or whatever. And then when he said, ow or whatever, it was like, huh. And then I pieced it, and then I was like, oh, that's the Joker. I thought it was Joker doing a Nicholson,
Okay.
putting makeup on. I think I always just go to he's white, has to put makeup on, flesh colored.
Okay.
I think that's usually where I go to first, except
Okay.
for Heath, which we knew before the movie even, that he
Yeah.
didn't make, but that's what I thought. And even up to this point, watching this episode, even like I feel like his skin is perma white. He just added makeup as a chauffeur.
Okay. I'm always the one that goes with, I like it when it's ambiguous.
Sure.
Even comic book wise, Batman history wise, the Joker just was for 11 years until they gave him an origin in 1951 with the Red Hood going in the vat of acid and all that stuff. Before that, he just looked like he did. And even when I was a kid, my first experience with the Joker was the Batman 60s TV series. I always thought Joker wore makeup. It wasn't until I started reading the comics more, getting a little older, reading comics, that I realized
you got your education in comic books.
Yeah. So I'm an ambiguous guy. Less I know, the better when it comes to the Joker.
Sure.
And we'll see where this goes with the character. I'm looking forward to seeing more of this Joker and what happens and what happens between him and Batman. So, all right, that's going to do it, I believe, for episode 3, Deep Cover.
Well, you made quite a statement about this episode.
Yes.
Why? Well, I don't want to, what's your overall thoughts on this episode?
Is that good, man?
Is that good?
Excellent.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I watched it and seriously, I went, damn, that was good. That was one of the best episodes of a Batman series I've ever seen. Really done well. And I took the pitch and I ran it back, popped the picture of the title card and said that immediately. So that's my gut visceral reaction to it.
In like, in as few words as possible, like, why is that? What did they do that was so good that you're like, this just freaking works out of all Batman episodes you've seen of anything?
I love it with Batman Undercover, doing that detective work. And the fact that it made me feel for that Dez,
Yeah.
And and I felt Batman's feeling. I know this is fictional and it's animation, but I could tell Batman was a little shook by the whole thing, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my interpretation,
Yeah.
He had empathy. He had feeling. Probably felt bad, in a way. Even though this guy's a criminal. I thought it was just really well written and the animation was great. It's just a really good story. I put it up there. It's one of the. I'll stand by that, even though I just saw it. Time hasn't gone on, so
Well, something if something hits a second time, just like as well as it did the first time, that's always very telling to me, and how I know something has uh
Yeah,
replay value and
yeah,
staying powers. Like I've seen it multiple times and it's the
yeah.
same. I'm not
What?
picking things apart. Uh
Yeah,
but I was just, I was wondering with that because of these first three episodes, I mean, this has the least amount of Batman in it, right? Because
yeah,
that large
yeah,
chunk of him is matches, but
yeah,
it's still, I think of the three, it's the strongest of the three.
yeah.
And that's nothing negative about the first two. I just think like, oh, I
No,
think this is better than the first two. And, it makes me, for some reason, when the animated series started to come out on DVD and I was finally able to watch all episodes, Perchance to Dream really stuck out in my head because that was one where there wasn't much Batman. You didn't see a villain until the very end, but the whole episode really had my interest. And I
yeah,
thought this is really good. And it doesn't have Batman. It doesn't have a villain.
yeah,
Like, what? And this I think is in that conversation because yes, Riddler is there, but it's like it's a big episode where there's not much Batman,
I will,
and I want
I will,
Batman in my
yeah,
Batman stuff, but I didn't feel his
yeah.
absence.
Well,
Like, geez, come on.
yeah, the whole time when he's matches, it's Batman to me.
Hmm.
And um, I've got to where 3 episodes in, this is a credit to the writers and whatnot. I really have a strong dislike for Eddie Nigma. I dislike him as a character,
Yeah,
not the interpretation
yeah,
they're going with
yeah.
the
There's a
Riddler.
difference. You can be like, I don't
I
like someone,
dislike,
but it's the actor, not necessarily the performance. Whereas you
yeah,
can like, I
I
don't
don't
like the
like
character.
character,
Yep.
which I have feelings for it. It's dislike, it's hate.
Yeah.
I want Batman to beat the shit out of it. You know,
Yeah.
I want him to get what's coming to him. So yeah, that they're doing something good. They're doing something right with this Riddler.
He's kind of obnoxious,
Yeah, he is
as
obnoxious
intended.
as intended.
As intended.
Yes. All right. Where before we go, where would you put it? Is like, do you think it's one of the better Batman individual episodes, animated episodes? When you just
Um,
compare all of the
I don't
different,
know that it would come up in my ranking if we did top five, top 10.
yeah,
But that's just because I'm so like, I don't know, I have to go rewatch everything before I can come up with that list.
yeah,
I think it was strong. Um, I don't have complaints about it. I don't
yeah,
know that I would throw it on my list, but it's like but my list would be very different from yours.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, and that so I don't know. To say no, which I don't even want to firmly say no, doesn't mean anything negative at all.
yeah. It's a good one. All right, that's going to do it. That's going to do it for this episode of Batmanimation, and talking about we're continuing to talk about the second season of Batman Caped Crusader, and we're on to episode 4. Hobby's going to jump in the driver's seat. And I believe Haas is coming on that episode. Hobby and Haas.
No, Javi's driving. Haas is in the sidecar. All right.
Haas's sidecar. I'm giving Hobby the keys. He had to sign a waiver.
Yeah.
Make sure anything.
Bill Ramey is not
up.
liable for any injuries.
Yeah, no, I ain't,
May-
no. I'm not putting up with that kind of nonsense. So, all right, here comes Rachel again. Oh, here she is. She doesn't do the outro. Does them live. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to Batmanimation, a BatmanOnFilm.com podcast revisiting the animated TV and film adventures of the Caped Crusader. For Jett and Team BOF, I'm announcer Rachel. Batman on Film, authoritative, definitive, the original, established in 1998.